As it becomes harder and harder for many states to track down the unique cocktail of chemicals required to do lethal injection for the death penalty, various states are coming up with workarounds, and Utah has an interesting one. They're going to be bringing back the firing squad, or at least they're trying to. The proposal to do so to bring back the firing squads passed the state's legislature's Law Enforcement and Criminal Justice Interim Committee by a 9-2 vote. I don't know who these two people were, but they seem a little bit rational. I like them. So it is not yet law in Utah, but it has cleared one important hurdle. Now, this seems crazy, I think, to most people because we imagine firing squads being something for old Western movies. They're not the only state, by the way, that is pushing for a return to this. But what's your initial reaction to more firing squads in America?
I mean, when you really think about it, when you kill someone by shooting them in the back of the head, they're dead immediately as long as you shoot them accurately. But so you die immediately. So the question is, what is it considered more inhumane? It's not necessarily, but the imagery is what makes people, kind of stand back for a second and really rethink it. And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it kind of makes you visualize what it means to be murdered by the country for a crime that you've committed. There's no question about that, right? But I'm against the death penalty. It doesn't matter if it's by lethal injection. It doesn't matter if it's by firing squad. You are punishing someone for killing someone by killing them, right? And it's an eye for an eye type of mentality and ideology, and I don't agree with it. And on top of it, we convict people for crimes that they have not committed. So the thought of us killing someone through a firing squad, if they haven't committed the crime, scares the hell out of me. And right now, we continuously exonerate people through DNA evidence when they've been sitting on death row. So this I find just as objectionable as lethal injections.
No, I agree. I'm against it. I think that it's a policy that we should have moved beyond as a society. And I also agree, and I know that I've made this point before, but I will continue to. You should understand exactly what the state is doing when they kill someone. It should not be some peaceful thing. They're murdering a person. And when we see other countries do it, it is often through something like a firing squad. And it makes them seem barbaric and cruel by comparison, but the end result is the same. It's a person who's dead, and all too often in our nation's history, as Anna pointed out, it's an innocent person who gets killed by the state.
Can I add one other thing to that? I mean, if you want to talk about barbaric, if you think death by firing squad is barbaric, I mean, think about what happened in Oklahoma just this year when, basically European drug makers refused to give us the cocktail necessary to do the lethal injections, and then as a result, some of these prisons who wanted to carry out death penalties decided, all right, well, we'll use our own cocktail. They were not transparent about it. We still don't know exactly what they used and how they used it. And as a result, one inmate in Oklahoma that was being executed was basically suffering for 45 minutes straight before he died of cardiac arrest, right? Because we don't know what kind of cocktail they used on this guy. So that's barbaric to me, watching someone be tortured for 45 minutes before he dies. So all of this is nonsensical to me, and you have to really reconsider the reasons why you're in favor of the death penalty. Is it because you believe in that eye for an eye type thing, or is it because you believe in common sense punishment that should be carried out? And if you want to look at costs, if you want to look at the risks that we take by executing people, I think that you would side in favor of going against execution.
Exactly. Now I want to give you a little bit more information about firing squads in particular. I did a little bit of research. In our nation's history, 142 men have been executed by firing squad. This is excluding those who were killed in the American Civil War. There were hundreds who were executed in that way, just in that time period as well. Now, the last two firing squads, executions by firing squad, do you know when those were? 1996 and 2010.
Wow.
This is not like 1834. Wow. This was not Wyatt Earp or something like that. 2010. And by the way, one state still has it as a possible way. It's a secondary way to execute people. That is Oklahoma. Surprising few people, perhaps.
Of course. Amazing.
No, it could have been Florida. It could have been Florida, to be fair. But also, Florida and Missouri are currently considering it. It's working its way through their legal system as well. So it might return again, like in this case, because they're having a hard time finding the chemicals used to cause a relatively less barbaric death. Now, is the firing squad worse than some other alternatives like the gas chamber, which Georgia wants to bring back into law? That's an open question, but yeah, it does seem like an antiquated policy at this point.
It seems like that would be the one I think some people would choose. You know, it seems not cleaner, obviously, because from what I read a little bit, it's historically, they aim for the heart and there's a line of guys. And I also remember in other instances, only one gun has the lethal bullet, others have blanks. So the execution doesn't know he's the one who committed the murder, all that stuff, right?
Jesus.
So
wait, they target the heart? I didn't know that. I thought they went for the head. Okay.
Yeah, because I think they don't want the head to explode. I'm not sure which kind of guns they use or bullets.
You want the
that
cleanup
stuff.
effort to be easier.
And maybe that's the way it won't be as filthy, because the thing is they don't want a gruesome scene so that people would think, we're killing people. What they don't want you to think is, we're killing people. No matter how brutal the crime is that they committed, we don't want to know that people are getting killed, which is why the Oklahoma thing you talked about, the guys on the floor probably vomiting and convulsing for 45 minutes, that's hard to watch.
Yeah.
Even if the family of the victim is sitting there going, I want to see this guy die. Now you're haunted even more. You're watching this guy die.
Yeah.
You know, and you probably get to thinking about your family member that he maybe did something to. It doesn't make it any better. So I always wonder, I think if they brought it back, you're probably gonna get, if people have a choice, that is, you probably can get a lot of people that'd be like, sure, give it to me.